Hey everybody, what's up? Just sitting down here in the floor of the boat trying to get out a little bit of wind here to give you today's second practice day update, pre-tournament report, all that type of stuff. So thanks for taking a few minutes out of your evening to check it out, much appreciated. And if you guys watched the video I did yesterday, the first day of practice I had here at Pickwick, I had a tough day on the water. And today was the duplicate. Today was another tough day on the water. I was sort of going to give you guys a rundown how I spent my day. I got thinking about it last night, and the area that I fished yesterday, those offshore main lake areas that had some grass and some ditches in it, it just looked so good. I mean, it looked so good. I spent most of the day out there yesterday, didn't do any good. And my plan was today, I was going to fish shallow all day. So anyway, I'm running down the lake this morning, and I was planning on heading to shallow water area, and I ran past that same area, and it just looked too good. I mean, I got in there again, the water's perfect, the grass is perfect, everything is so perfect, and I wound up spending like probably 2/3 of the day in there, and I'm not just one spot, it was a giant area, trying to figure these fish out there, and I never had a bite out there. I absolutely never had a bite. And I just can't believe it. I have no doubt in my mind that those fish are going to get caught out there, but for some reason, I have just not been able to figure out how to catch them. I've tried everything that I've got. That's why I spent 6 hours out there. I was trying to figure out how to catch them, adjusting, changing stuff, changing areas, on the offshore spot. So super frustrated. So about 2 o'clock this afternoon, I bailed out, ran down to the lake, and I got in some, super shallow water around some, shallow wood, shallow grass, less than 2 foot of water, docks, that type of stuff. And it wasn't any better. It was just, I just did not do any good shallow either. So came back out of there after fishing there, because I fished shallow in some areas that I've caught them in the past for like 3 hours, never had a bite. Came back out to the offshore areas, never had a bite out there. So my second day of practice, no bites. I had no bass bites the second day of practice. So man, and here's the thing about it, guys. I fully expect this to be a toad fest. I think there's going to be some big weights caught in this tournament, and I have no doubt I'll make a prediction right now. I think this tournament is going to get dominated and won off the bank. I don't think that it's going to get won up shallow. I just, I've sampled enough of it over the last 2 days. I just don't think that those kind of fish are up there. I know those bigger fish are out off the bank now, either pre or post spawn, and it's like finding a needle in a stack of needles out there right now. So anyway, tomorrow I'm going to make a completely different, I'm not going back out there offshore. I'm going to go to the other end of the lake. I'm going to try some other off the wall stuff. We're starting to get now, you can see the clouds, you can see we got some weather coming in. It's supposed to be in here in the first day of the tournament. So I'm going to go out there, and I'm going to, continue to, just feel around and experiment a little bit in a different part of the lake. I don't really know how I'm going to wind up fishing tomorrow. I'm just going to let, my instincts and intuition sort of guide me a little bit, sort of see what how it unfolds. And I don't really have a plan. I know the area I want to fish, but I don't really have a plan on how I want to fish it. I'm just going to, again, just let it unfold. And sometimes that's what you have to do. When you've had a slow practice, or if you're having trouble catching fish, you just have to tell yourself the fish are always biting somewhere. They're always biting. You just have to keep fishing. You have to fish your way through it. You either have to change areas, you have to change techniques, you have to, change techniques within the same area, or bail out completely. But the big key is when you've gone a couple days and you haven't done very well, the big key is getting hit by a couple of quality fish to sort of get you pointed in the right direction. Because say, for example, if I would have went out there this morning and caught, a couple solid fish pretty early, that would have given me the confidence to basically stay in that area. But when you're not getting any bites, it's hard to do. So And here's another thing about Pickwick right now. The way it's fishing here is like, I haven't seen any beds up shallow. I've looked for some up shallow. I haven't seen any beds, and Pickwick is not a bed-friendly lake. The thing is, this is basically like a river here. You have, a steeper side of the lake. You have a flatter side of the lake. You got giant bass flats and channels out in the middle of the lake. It's not like you can just pull up on a bank and see them, because there's not that many coves in the lake for the fish to even spawn in. So I think a lot of these fish, they have to spawn out on the main lake here. They don't have any other options. So anytime you're dealing with a lake like Pickwick that has a lot of current in it and a lot of big smallmouth, the spawning period is not quite the same as far as how it is on a man-made reservoir. But anyway, like I said, I've got a half a day tomorrow to practice. I'm just gonna keep grinding away, keep looking at it. Man, I've done this a long time. I've fished tournaments for 40 years, been through this before. Just gonna keep pushing forward and trying new stuff. And I may come back tomorrow afternoon and just be on the fish I think is gonna win the tournament. You just don't know. So anyway, I'll be back tomorrow afternoon, guys. Give you guys a final day report. We got to be off the water at noon, so it's a short day. And thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. See you tomorrow.